We see celebrities on red carpets, at movie premieres, on glossy magazine covers. Always polished, always perfect. But there are moments, rare, unfiltered moments, when a mask slips, when a question gets too personal, when the room gets too tense, when the emotions get too real. And in those moments, even the most media-trained stars lose control. Today, we're looking at 5 interviews where everything went wrong, and what they tell us about the pressure behind the fame. Robert Downey Jr. walks out over a question that went too far. In 2015, Robert Downey Jr. was in full promotional mode for Avengers: Age of Ultron. By this point, he wasn't just an actor, he was Iron Man, one of the most loved stars on Earth. So when he sat down with Channel 4's Krishna Gurumurthy, he expected the usual promotional questions about the film, the character, the Marvel Universe. But instead, the interviewer suddenly brought up Robert's past, his drug addiction, his arrests, his time in jail. You could immediately see RDJ's body language shift. Arms crossed, eyes narrowing slightly, still polite, but clearly uncomfortable. He responded, "You seem okay, it's just getting a little Diane Sawyer." But the interviewer kept going, asking if Robert was free from all of that, if he thought he was a better man now. That's when RDJ stood up and said, "I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing? It's just getting a little too much." And just like that, he walked out, on camera, mid-interview. The moment went viral, not because he exploded, but because he walked out with quiet, controlled dignity. Robert Downey Jr. had spent years rebuilding his career after a very public downfall, from being nearly unhireable to becoming the highest-paid actor in Hollywood for multiple years. In this interview, it crossed the line, not because of the question itself, but because of the timing. He was there to talk about his work, not to be dragged back into the darkest chapters of his life. Cara Delevingne, disrespected on live morning TV. When you're promoting a movie, you expect some silly questions. But what happened to Cara Delevingne during her Paper Towns press tour in 2015 wasn't silly, it was insulting. On Good Day, Sacramento, things got awkward fast. The host started by asking if she'd read the book her movie was based on, implying maybe she hadn't. Then they said she didn't seem very excited to be there, that maybe she was tired or in a bad mood. Cara, staying composed, responded dryly, "No, I think it's just the way that you're saying it." That's when it really went downhill. The host cut her off mid-interview, saying maybe she needed a nap or a Red Bull. The clip exploded online. People were outraged at how rude the host had been, especially toward a young woman just trying to promote her film. Cara had just made the leap from modeling to acting. She was trying to be taken seriously, and interviews like this didn't help. The same dry wit or sarcasm from a male actor might have been seen as cool or funny, but from Cara, it was called moody or disrespectful. But here's the thing, Cara didn't yell. She didn't storm off. She just held her ground, and that made the moment even more powerful. Cruz, the moment he went from movie star to meme. In 2005, Cruz sat down with Matt Lauer on NBC's Today show to promote War of the Worlds. But the conversation didn't stay on aliens for long. Lauer brought up Brooke Shields and her experience with postpartum depression, and how she had taken antidepressants. Cruz, a known Scientologist, strongly opposes psychiatry and medication. And instead of staying neutral, he went in. He said, "You don't know the history of psychiatry." The room got tense. Tom leaned forward, his voice sharper, more aggressive. What was supposed to be a promotional chat turned into a full-blown argument. That line, "I do," became a cultural moment. It was clipped, memed, mocked. Cruz wasn't just ranting. He was defending a belief system he'd followed for decades. Scientology teaches that psychiatry is dangerous and should be avoided, something he genuinely believes. His image took a hit. Studios were reportedly concerned. His relationship with Paramount would end the following year. But years later, Cruz rebuilt that image, mostly through daredevil stunts, humility, and the global success of Mission Impossible. The line between personal belief and public responsibility can get blurry when you're famous, especially when you choose to fight your battles on live TV. Quentin Tarantino, I'm Not Your Slave. Quentin Tarantino had just released Django Unchained, a brutal, controversial film about slavery, vengeance, and freedom. The movie was getting rave reviews and serious criticism for its graphic violence. During a Channel 4 interview, the reporter pressed hard. Do you think your movies contribute to real-world violence? Tarantino refused to engage. He repeated, I'm not your monkey, I'm not your slave, and you're not my master. It was fiery, harsh, and completely unscripted. Critics said he was dodging responsibility. Supporters said he was defending artistic freedom. Tarantino has always been vocal about not explaining or apologizing for his art. He believes that the audience has the right to feel what they feel, not the media to dictate it. This wasn't just a press tour gone wrong. It was the moment Tarantino reminded the world he doesn't play by anyone's rules. These moments weren't just outbursts. These interviews didn't just go wrong. They exposed something real. Robert Downey Jr. showed us how far he'd come. Cara reminded us that women don't owe fake smiles. Tom let his beliefs clash with the spotlight. Tarantino refused to be reduced to a soundbite. Fame doesn't erase emotion. It amplifies it. And when things go off script, that's when we see who they really are.